Welcome to Deep Thought. So much in the real world. Now, you know what? One of the things I say this a lot on my main men's channel. Go outside. Go out. There's so much. There's so many people. One of the problems that we have nowadays, so many people are caught up into the artificial bubble of social media. Seriously, if you look, there's a lot of men and women. It's pretty much they'll go outside to go to work, maybe go to the grocery store, but they don't interact. Most of their interactions are online. Most of their knowledge is from online. You know, they're in different communities online that see things a certain way. But in the real world, it's something different. Let me use the example of this thing with height. Height, you know. People, if you just go by social media, you would think, hey, it's over for you if you're not over 6 feet. And I've had guys comment and even comment to me privately. They were like, oh no, they just 5'11". I'm like, well, 5'11" is still taller than average, you know? Or, well, I don't know, there's so many examples. That's just one. Or you got to have a certain amount of money to get a woman. And it was like, well, or look a certain way. And they believe it's because of social media. Or, you know, women. Shit, how many women think, you know, they'll think, oh, the guys are this or that. I'm like, yeah, that's on social media. Is that the case in the real world? You know, or political conspiracies, whole bunch of stuff. It's like you have websites that actually promoting like false information, misinformation. I mean, you got so much, but if you really want to deal with it, the best thing to do is to simply go outside. To go outside. I mean, that's it. Go much in the real world, because you'll see there's a lot more happening than is online. Online shows a lot, but it can't possibly show everything. How's it going to show anything in the shorts that they have now? I mean, think about it. Yeah, you get some people showing some stuff, but then you don't see the whole context. And plus, let's be real, there's a lot of clips of people doing stuff that is not happening in the real world. They're acting. It's fake. You know, like those videos, gold digger pranks. You know, a man's trying to talk to a woman, she don't want to talk to him, but then he goes to his car and all of a sudden it's like, oh, she's interested. But you got some people who will take that seriously. How often that's going to happen in the real world? If somebody's driving a car like that, they probably ain't going to be inclined to try to talk to women on the street. Just first of all, if you're in the real world, they're going to be in certain areas and everything. And you know, if a woman don't want a guy, she just ain't going to want a guy. But you got to be in the real world to see that. It's very important. Like, it's very important that people go out. I always recommend that people just go outside, see what's up, talk to people, you know, actually interact with people. Don't get your news or your views just from what one person might be saying on social media or something like that, or even the news, even going beyond that. One thing with the news, different news organizations, they're basically promoting propaganda. Or they promoting propaganda, or they selling something. All you have to do is sit through the commercials of any news program, and you know the agenda, because that's the ultimate agenda of news and television programs. They trying to program you. They trying to sell stuff. They trying to program. Why they call it programs? Listen to the word. Psychologically, they trying to tell you something, but it might not be the case. You know, it might not be the case. You know, and this is, you know, it might be a political agenda. And I'm gonna get into different agendas in the next episode, but it could be a political agenda. It could be something else. It could be so many different things. You have to figure out, okay, what is it? What's going on? What's happening? All right? You got to figure it out. That's the important thing. That is the important thing. So you gotta do that. Because I'm gonna tell you what, the best way, of course, is to just go out, talk with people, see what's actually happening. Because if you, it's one thing to get the news or an idea from what someone's saying on social media or mainstream media or something like that. It's one thing. But go out in the world and see what's up. How does it relate? That's why I say, even for the stuff I talk about, go outside and figure it out. See how it relates. Don't just take my word for it. I would say that with anybody. Don't just take their word for it. See if you see the same thing. You might see something. See if you see it and just come back and let me know. I've had people do that a lot. They'll say, hey, I've been out, I've seen something different. Okay, I can respect that. You know, you might be learning something. Now, I've seen a lot, but, you know, like I always use the example of I can't teach, you know, I can't talk about quantum physics in Mandarin. There's only so much I'm going to see. It might be a certain angle or something, you know, that I'm not going to see. I can see a lot, but not everything. You know, this world is big. There's so much. There's so many groups, subcultures, ways of thinking, everything. But you gotta leave the social world. Now, they ain't saying it's totally bad. You can learn a lot. You can learn a lot. But see, some people, they say stuck there. That's the only place they learn it. You know, if you want to learn something, you gotta go out and get experience. It's like on my men's channel. You get a lot of guys, they were like, well, how can I meet this woman? How can I learn how to talk to her? Well, you gotta go out and practice. You gotta actually talk to them. You know, you gotta find out where their heads are at. You know, you have to go out. You have to do something, because there's so much in the real world. There is so much happening. You have to go and figure it out, you know, because what the propaganda that's promoted might not be what you actually see, you know. I mean, there's all types of propaganda. Let me use an example. Let me use a racial example. There's still people who believe, like, in a propaganda of, you know, blacks just being totally ratchet and just one culture and everything. Even had someone on here come in with that noise. But I'm like, if you really go out in the real world, you'll see there's multiple cultures within the black community. Different groups, different types of people and everything. If you actually deal with them. You know, along class, religious lines, class lines, subcultural lines, everything. But if you follow certain social media, you might not believe that. It's like, well, get your ass out. You can see that. Shoot, you can probably go and see, like, let's use the example of blacks. If I go to my, like, local grocery stores, I'm gonna see different classes. I'm gonna see I've seen some ratchets, and I've seen, like, some bourgeois upper middle class vibe and everything in the same stores. Shoot, same aisle, getting stuff. I'm like, you can just tell. Energetically, you can just tell. That's another thing. You can really go out and see how people really are. That's the important thing. There's so much there, though, and that's the beauty of it. The world is so big, you have so many different people. You can never stop learning. So, go on outside. So anyway, that's all I got for now. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings.